What's up, guys? Derek, moreplatesmoredates.com. Today I'm going to be touching on the 20 pounds of muscle in 7 days challenge that Tony Hughes, Ryan Russo, Kenny KO, etc. were a part of, and Akash Aesthetics. Tony Hughes and Akash are doing the 30-day challenge, and Ryan Russo and Kenny were doing the 7-day one. I've had a ton of requests for it, so I'm going to just touch on my thoughts in as logical of a way as I can come across here. So the perspective they have, I think, that they're trying to come across is not so much. The problem is when you get into the semantics of what actually is muscle, the truth is that the majority of it is water. So a lot of guys, they're going to say, what is legitimate lean tissue? And they're going to say, okay, well, and this is more or less what I would consider it too. Let's just say you're 200 pounds, 100% depleted, and about to step on stage at 4 to 5% body fat. I would say you're 200 pounds, that's your physique. You have 200 pounds of muscle. If you bulk to 250 and you still have visible abs, my definition of how much muscle you gain during that bulk, if you gain 50 pounds to get to 250 and you still have visible abs, wouldn't be what a skin caliper says. It wouldn't be what a DEXA scan is, because that's not going to differentiate between water and lean dry muscle, or whatever you want to call it. I would consider, once you've sucked back down to 4 to 5% and you deplete fully of water, what your weight is at that point would be how much actual tissue you've gained. So the problem is there's no real way to 100% accurately do this, because no one's going to do a comparison like that, because the muscles comprise so much of temporary things: water, nitrogen, blood volume, etc. These things that can be manipulated overnight and have a 10-pound fluctuation and just have you look like you gained, you're still 8% body fat on a caliper on a DEXA scan, but it looks like you gained 5 to 10 pounds of lean tissue overnight. So there's no really accurate way to measure this. And the perspective I'm getting from this is Tony's less trying to portray that they're gaining. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I'm just going to say, I don't think any of them think that they gain 20 pounds of dry muscle. I'm thinking they're talking in the conception or the notion that the muscle is comprised of so many manipulatable, that's not even a word, is it? Things you can manipulate, that you can increase your weight by 20 pounds of lean weight in 7 days in a short period of time and appear to be a similar or lower body fat percentage. So that's a super misleading statement, because a lot of people will say, well, no, you didn't gain 20 pounds of muscle. And it's by what standard? Because the muscle is comprised of water. So as much as I would argue that, okay, well, how about you deplete down and do an intermittent fast again and then see where your weight is? I would consider that where you end up after that fasting period, they did a fast before their initial before weigh-in. I would consider, okay, do the fast again, deplete water, or whatever you guys did beforehand, and then what do you weigh after that in contrast to the week before? And that would be how much muscle you gained. And I feel like most of you guys would agree with me on that. But obviously Tony's stance is, if you have the knowledge to manipulate the content of a literal muscle belly, the muscle bellies, and you can gain 15 pounds lean in a week or whatever, it's possible to do without increasing your body fat percentage. So everything's temporary at the end of the day. So if you want to take a piece of beef and suck it dry and have beef jerky, that beef jerky, for example, would weigh more if it was soaked with water, and it would be much bigger. But then it's dried and depleted, and it's beef jerky, and it weighs a lot less. So is it less beef jerky? I don't know, really, to be honest. This actually made me seriously question this thing, because the way I consider it is dry weight is how much muscle you've gained. But at the end of the day, what is the dry weight? The whole muscle is comprised of water, essentially, blood volume, nitrogen retention, whatever else is in there, literal bones and stuff like that. And there's a ton of things that can be manipulated. So it's they could make the argument that they did gain 20 pounds of muscle, and 7 days. But the reality is they probably only, in my, what I would say is like actual gain, I would imagine it's probably closer to like 2 or 3 pounds at most, if even, because I think it takes months upon months to gain. I think even like blasting your face off, I think you're going to gain 10 pounds a year, like at most, of lean, like dry, suck down weight. So whether, I don't know, people just wanted my opinion on this. That's why I'm making this video. So whether you consider it as muscle weight or not, like the fact remains that it is possible to trick a DEXA scan and increase your body weight by 20 pounds and appear to be the same body fat percentage. But if it was really 20 pounds of like realistically, from me being a twig when I first started working out to current, I've probably gained maybe 60 pounds of muscle. And that would be perhaps generous. Maybe 65 actually. I don't know. But like 20 pounds is like the difference of what the fuck happened to you. You know what I mean? Like people would see you and not even recognize you because you look so much bigger. It wouldn't just be like you look bloated and you're still have visible abs. You know what I mean? So when I think 20 pounds, I think of like actual dry tissue added, not just like hyperinflated, nitrogen retained muscle tissue with the same body fat. You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference between my context of 20 pounds and that context of 20 pounds. But the fact remains they could probably make that argument if they really wanted to. And I don't think the point of the series was to make that argument necessarily. I feel like they just like their point was to show what is possible with, you know, pharmacology and their knowledge of the anabolic matrix. And I think they, you know, do a pretty good job of displaying that, whether people are going to agree with their standard metrics of measurements or not. You know, I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Take from that what you will. Still a super interesting, you know, series to follow, obviously, and I highly recommend you go check out those guys' pages. All good dudes, and cool series to follow. That's my thoughts. I'm rambling too much. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe. Check out my blog, moreplatesmoredays.com. Talk to you guys soon.